Morning. As we go to the Chitas of today, we're holding the sixth portion in the sixth part of the portion of Vayera. We're holding on chapter 8, verse number 19. Samti b'dus ben ami, and I'm going to make a separation between my nation and ben amcha and your nation. Lamachar, tomorrow, tomorrow there will be this sign. She says, "Samti b'dus sheyavdo beinami amcha," will be a separation, be a difference between these two nations. Verse 20, Vayas Hashem Cain, and God did this. Vayaveh Orev Kaved Beis Pari, and a heavy mixture of animals came to the house of Pharaoh, Beis Avodav, to the house of his servants, V'cholatz with Mitzrayim, in the whole land of Egypt, to Shachis Aretz, and the whole land was destroyed because of these animals. Now she says the land was destroyed. Vayikra Pari el Moshe, Ve'alarin, and Pari called Moshe Nan. Vayema, and he said, L'chu zivchu l'elekechem ba'aretz, go and sacrifice to God in your land, in Mitzrayim. Now she says, B'mkeimcha, why you need to go away? Why you need to travel into the desert? We can do it at home. Why would you go into the desert? Verse 22, so Moshe Rabbeinu said, this is not fit. Because we're going to sacrifice the abomination of Egypt to the Lord our God. Are we going to sacrifice the deity of Egypt in front of the Egyptians? And they won't stone us. She says, the deity of Egypt. Torah calls it Te'aves Mitzrayim, but it's really meaning will be the deity of Egypt. The abomination of the children of Ammon, to Jews, call it as an abomination. It may also be explained in another manner. The abomination of the Egyptians, our slaughtering is a hateful thing to the Egyptians, for we are slaughtering their deity. It should be said in the way of a question. We're going to go for 3 days in the desert. We'll sacrifice to the Lord our God, as he tells us. I will let you go out, and I'll let you go out into the desert and sacrifice. But you shouldn't go too far. And please pray for me. And he said, Moshe Rabbeinu said, I will go out from you. And I'm going to pray out to God. And then all these animals will leave. For the servants, so tomorrow all these animals are going to depart. But Pari should not tease me anymore in not letting the people go out, to go out to sacrifice to God. He's also the translation is to tease. Let the Pharaoh stop teasing, promising, and not living up to his promise. Moshe Rabbeinu left the Pharaoh. And he cried to God. Now she says he exerted himself. So that is lashon of exerting himself. He exerted himself in prayer. Similarly, in the Torah, it's meant vayet vayatir. You could have said it, and it would mean that he increased his words of prayer. Now, because it says vayip, it's used the vayipal form. It means he exerted himself in prayer. God did like Moshe Rabbeinu asked. And the Moshe Rabbeinu, and he took away all the animals from the Pharaoh, and from the servants, from his nation, now one of them stayed. Now she said they did not die like the tzvaidim, like the frogs, for if they would have died, the Egyptians would have received benefit from them. They would have, from their hides. So therefore, all these animals moved out. Verse 28, Vayachved Paris Liba. And Paro hadn't hardened his heart. Again, he did not send the people. What does Rashi say? Although he said, I will let you go out, he couldn't keep his promise. Chapter 9, verse number 1. And God said to Moshe, go to Paro. And speak to him. This is what God said, the king, the God of the Jews. Send my people, so I will conserve, they should serve me. If you will hold yourself back from sending them, you're going to continue to hold on them. Now says to hold on them, simply to take hold of them. Behold, the hand of the Lord will be upon your livestock. That's in the field. Basusim, Bachamoidim, in the horses, in the donkeys, Magmalim, in the camels, Babakar, in the cattle, upon the sheep. Dever covered might. Is there come upon it extreme, severe pestilence. Now she says this is a present tense of it's going to be happen right now. And here God's going to show again the separation between the livestock of Jews and the livestock of Egypt, and not one animal will die of the Jewish people. Now says again, v'hifli, the meaning v'hifli is the concept of a hivdil, set apart. God made a sign at an appointed time. Tomorrow God will do this thing, but it's in your land. And God did this thing in the next day. And all the livestock of the Egyptians died. And not one livestock of the Jewish people died. Pharaoh took this in a different way. And to the Pharaoh, there was still livestock, so he was not worried. And Pharaoh sent out messengers to find out if that's true. That not one of them died. So Pharaoh said, fine. I'm the king. I can do whatever I want. I can take the livestock. He did not send the people. God said to Moshe, take yourself a handful of furnace soot. And let Moshe Rabbeinu throw the soot in heaven towards the heaven in front of the eyes of Pharaoh. Nephrem is a double handful. Pia Kivshan, substance blowed from the dying embers that were burned in the furnace. It's called ulbis, cinders from the furnace. Pich is an expression of blowing. And the wind blows them, makes them fly. Zarka Moshe, anything cast with strength can be cast only with one hand. Hence, there are many miracles there. One that Moshe's single hand held 2 double handfuls of those of Aaron. And another miracle was that the dust went over the entire land of Egypt. This dust is going to go upon the whole land of Egypt. It's going to be upon the boils. Come boils upon the people and animals. The shin pereach. Upon the beast and upon the entire land of Egypt. Rashi says this like which blisters break out. That's what kind of boils there were. Shin, an expression of heat. That's what they did. They took this suit, parted this to before part of Isaac, and Moshe took the suit and threw it up in heaven. And it came down as boils. Ababuyas, breaking boils into blisters. Which fell upon man and upon beast. Rekdasha question. What do you mean? I thought all the animals died. Now, how did they have animals? Doesn't it say already that the livestock of Egypt died? I'll answer the decree was leveled only upon those in the field. as it says, upon your livestock that was in the field. But he who feared the Lord brought all his livestock into the house. So he was taught the Mechilta. Regarding, he took 600 chosen chariots, because how did later the Pharaoh took chariots. So the decree was on the livestock of the field, not the livestock in the barns. So many Egyptians took the livestock in the barn. And all these Egyptian magicians, they couldn't stand before Moshe because they had all these boils. Because the Shchin was in all these Egyptians. Nevertheless, the Eibishter strengthened the heart of Pharaoh. And he did not listen. Because Hashem el Moshe, as God spoke to Moshe. Some God said to Moshe, Ashkan Baker, get up in the morning, we sat till the party and stand before the Pharaoh. Love and tell him, this is what God of the Jewish people say, Shlach Ami, send my people, Vayavduni, so they may worship him. Because at this present time, I'm sending my plagues into your heart. Uba into your servants, Uba Mecha into your people. Bavuteda Kain Kameni, so you'll know that there's nobody like me b'chol haaretz. Now she says, from here we learned that the plague of the firstborn was equivalent to all the plagues. Because now, for now I've stretched out my hand. I'm going to smite you with your nation, with dever, with pestilence. And he has been annihilated from the earth. Now she says, for I have so desired, but my hand was upon the livestock. When I smote them with the pestilence, I could have stretched out and forth and killed you and your people, along with the beast, and you would have been annihilated from the earth. But for the reasons I have allowed this to stand. For this reason I have allowed you to stand. In order for you to see my strength, and ultimately to declare my name unto the entire world. That completes the Chumash for today. Now go to the Tanya of the day. We're holding in the middle of the 15th chapter of Tanya. And Alter Rebbe is talking about a Beinoni. And what's important about a Beinoni? What's important about this person that has the potential of evil, potential of the opposite of godliness, and the struggle to make sure that it never goes from potential to reality. The Alter Rebbe said that person who does that is called the Oved Hashem, called the one who serves God. He's in the act of the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Service of God. And therefore, that person, people like us that we should never be a rasha, a wicked person in our life. We might never be able to be a tzaddik in our life. But we should, even in the concept of our lives, that we make sure to do what is right, we should go the extra mile. We shouldn't just do what is right and stay in a very equilibrium kind of a life, that we ignore the concept of negativity within us and we decide not to deal with it and we push it under the rug. And that's what many of us do. We have certain things in the closet, as they say, and instead of dealing with it and challenging it and transforming it, we decide to not deal with it. Comes the Alter Rebbe and says, in the aspect of the service of God, you need to go and create this battle. You need to become an Oved Hashem. You need to become a person who comes and challenges his Yetzer Hara, challenges his Nefesh HaBahamis, challenges his animalistic soul. And that, because if not, then you're never, ever going to get rid of this potential. And it's always going to bother you, and it's always going to bring up things in your life. So you need to be able to challenge this concept, whatever it might be. The Alter Rebbe itself in his talk is talking about between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we need to do the challenge. We just cannot have a concept where we don't struggle with Gashmias. It's irrelevant to us. No, we know we are physical people and we have an animalistic soul. And therefore, Gashmias is important to us, and therefore we need to challenge it when it comes to the service of God. And what does that mean? We need to go above our nature. We need to do things above our nature. And if we learn for an hour, we need to learn for an hour and 10 minutes every day. We need to go more. If you pray for the half an hour, pray for 45 minutes. You need to go more than your regular situation. That's what the Alter Rebbe said. Today you have Mashikosu Gemara, and this will understand what the Gemara says. The Gemara gives a simple example. The Oved Elokim, what's a person that serves God? So the Gemara gives a simple example to one who serves God. One who learns, the Gemara says, one who studies something for 101 times, because the regular practice of those days was to study something 100 times. Trust me, even 100 times sounds like unbelievable. But that was a normal practice in those days. Times of the Talmud, there was no printed, no books that much. There was no this was before the printing press ever in existence. Everything was on parchments. There was not too many books out there, and if you wanted to study something, you needed to remember it. You simply couldn't rely on finding the book someplace. So today you go on the internet. There's no Google. So to remember something, you needed to learn it 100 times, and that was the normal practice. Anything that was called in the very important word in the Hebrew, it's also important word in English, chazara. Chazara means to repeat. Everybody needs to repeat. When we learn something, we cannot learn something one time. We will never remember it. It will never, ever penetrate us if we're going to learn something one time. We need to learn something many times. I'm not saying you need to learn it 100 times. Because today, Baruch Hashem, you always can go look it up again, and there's always a book available. But surely to remember it, you need to learn more than one time. So over there, they learned it normally. When they studied something, they studied 100 times. So that's what the Gemara says. Person that doesn't serve God learns it 100 times. Person that serves God learns it 101 times. Because he went above the nature. That was the natural way of learning things, was 100 times. Today, that guy learned it 101 times. That means he went above his nature. One time above his nature. So it seems strange that the 101 revision should be outweigh all the previous 100 and should earn the student the designation of one who serves God. Wow, one time. I mean, the student here that learned it 100 times, he didn't serve God. The student here that learned it one more time, that changes whole reality from non-serving God to serving God. However, when we appreciate the struggle one must face in order to learn more than his custom, this is readily understood. And this is truly an amazing thing that the Gemara tells us. If you understand the Gemara gives us an unbelievable concept that we should realize that we don't have to go much for self-transformation. We don't have to go much to change ourselves. One more time. Going above your nature is a great accomplishment, is a transformation. The truth is, even if you do it once, try to do it once or twice to go above your out of the box, to go above your nature. You were stuck into our natural way. We are not ready to go above oneself. The Rebbe once told somebody, if you want to see miracles, miracles can happen within yourself. You don't have to go far for miracles. If you can change your nature, that's one of the greatest miracles that a person can do in his life. That he can push it, change himself, go above his nature. And it takes one more step to go above your nature. One step for man, a great step for mankind. Because in those days, they would review the lessons 100 times. Thus, to review 100 times did not require effort. That was the natural. 99 was unnatural. 100 times was the natural way of doing it. It was a second nature. Everybody did that. Everybody learned it 100 times. The 101st time, that's the revolutionary guy. That's the revision, which inquires effort beyond the student's custom, could gain him the appellation of one who serves God. That's the guy who serves God. The Gemara gives an analogy. The Gemara wants to give an analogy. The Gemara in itself wants to give an analogy to students of that time. And it wants to tell them, go out to the shuk, go out to the marketplace. And you have to hire a donkey. The donkey's for hire, rental car. You have to hire a donkey. So they tell you how many miles are you going with this donkey? It's going you're going 10 miles. 10 miles, this donkey is $10. Well, but for 11 miles, you have to pay $20. Why 11 miles is $20? 10 miles is $10. So 11 miles should be $11. No. You go to the marketplace. 10 miles is $10. $10. The 11th mile is $20. They should because this donkey only goes 10 miles. You're going to actually exert this donkey in one day to travel 11 miles. So now that's double. So too, the Gemara says this 101 time. This one time is equal to the 100 times. Just like to the donkey, this 1 mile is like the 10 miles. This one time is like 100 times. I say that Galusa, so one aspect of a person going above his nature is like his whole nature, equal to his whole self. That's transformation of self. When I can go above my nature, 1 minute, that is more than my whole nature. That is more quality than my own nature. Because my nature is what I am. It's not something great. That's who I am. I'm a person who learns it 100 times. I'm a person who does A, B, and C every day. That I can move one step towards changing that nature, going above that nature. That's equals the whole nature, and that's why the Torah tells you that one time, that one step forward, is your person who called Oved Havaya. You changed person. You have a changed personality. You're a changed human being. It's like equivalent to the previous 100 revisions combined. And not only is it's like equal to the 100, it's actually greater than the 100. Yes, and a great strength and a great power, because now you have changed your name. You have actually become a different reality. Before, You were loy avada. You were not in the service. You were in self-service. So you did what was your nature. Now that you went above yourself, one more aspect, in one concept, you went above yourself. Now you're called the Oived Havaya. You've become a different person. You become a different reality. And you're called the one who serves God. In order to change the habitual nature, because changing a nature is not easy. It's the most difficult thing. People don't want to change their habits. They don't want to change what they think who they are. They don't want to change their lifestyle. They don't want to change the way they think. They don't want to change the way they do things. They don't want to change. People don't like change. And what they're doing, they feel is right. Well, 100 times learning something is pretty amazing. And it is right, but it's not going above self. And a Yid needs to go above himself in his thought, in his speech, in his action. He needs to transform himself. And then he needs to even go higher. It's never ending, this journey, my friends. Because you're still in the service. The battle has not ended. You've won this battle. There's another battle around the corner. And you're going to go deeper. You're going to go higher. And you're going to continue the struggle. Because that's your animalistic soul. Your animalistic soul likes everything is the same. Nothing changes. Be comfortable with your surroundings. Happy who I am. Take me as I am. And that's the truth is, not only do I say to others, take me as I am, I say to myself, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. God loves me who I am. We use all those expressions. And it's true. We are wonderful people. But we need to be in the service of God. That's the problem. We can be wonderful people that don't serve God, which is ultimately a selfish, non-developed life. And I have all the excuses of why I cannot develop my life. I need to go into the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I need to become an Oived Hashem. Ana Avda de Kuchabricha. I am the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's my job, to serve God. And to serve God is to go above myself, to reach up above myself, to do things greater than myself, to show myself I'm even more, I have more within me than you can imagine. So therefore, I need to control over I need to be shaylet on my nature and tell it it's not enough. Expression by Chassidim. If good is better, not better. It's good, but there's much better. There is much better within me. There's much more within me than just the good. I have a nefesh elokis. I have a godly soul that is yearning to bring light in this world, to transform this world, to make this world a godly world. That's what my soul wants. You mean I'm done? I'm a wonderful person. That's when he struggles with his animalistic soul. Says, I'm not happy with my nature. I'm not happy the way things are. I'm not happy with status quo. Because this comes from the nature, comes from the power of his love, enables him to transcend his nature. He realizes he loves the Eibishter, which is above nature, which gives him the capability to go above nature. And this, to overpower one's animal soul through the love of God generated by meditation, is a perfect service for a baby. That is the service of a baby. It's very simple. Voida Tama. You explain the word Tama in many different ways. It's a very simple concept. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be a genius to understand this concept. You just have to want to be in the service of God. You have to want to become better and become more holier and become more connected to God. That's the service, and that deals with going over what is naturally comfortable by you. An alternative type of service of Habeni is to arouse to a revealed state of love of God, inherently found in your hidden in your heart. To hereby to control the nature that is in the left part of the heart. This is also called service of God, although an imperfect service. To wage war against his nature. To waking up the love even Azad. If, however, he wages no war at all, not engaging even the lesser struggle of arousing love hidden within him, meaning when he studies only to the limit of his natural diligence, then although he employs his hidden love of God in his divine service, yet this love itself is no way credit to his service, as it's therefore called the serves him not. So we need to be designated as the one who serves God. The Beinoni must engage in a struggle with his evil inclination, either through the love of God born of meditation, or at least arousing his hidden love. Take it any way you want to take it. Go any route you want to go, whether it's through your meditation, through your seichel, whether it's to waking up your love of God, whatever it takes. A Beinoni that serves the Eibishter is the one who goes and doesn't take his animalistic soul and pushes it on the carpet, doesn't take his challenges and says, I can't deal with it, I'm not going to deal with it. He deals with it. He goes out to war with it. And he changes it. It's not going to make him a tzaddik, but it'll make him one who serves God. It'll make him a person who serves God, because the battle is not going to end with one battle. It's going to continue. But you'll be in the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's what the Eibishter wants. We are in the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We might not be tzaddikim who passed already the battle. We should never be like a Shoim, God forbid, who lost the battle. We should be in the battle. And as the Alter Rebbe is going to continue about the greatness of this battle, and to realize that we're ultimately going to transform the world. We are ultimately, as middle people, are going to make this world a better world. And we're the people who make this world a better world. We're the middle class people who change this world. Not only we are the people that do the work of this world. In the physical world, we are the workers of the world in the spiritual sense. And you cannot give up this job, because there's a big job needs to be accomplished. That's to bring Mashiach, to bring light to the world and to transform the world, and we need to do it. So we need to become in the service of God. We need to be not like Beinanim, middle people who just do good and not challenge themselves in the negatives that we have within us. We need to awaken up these negative things and challenge it and subdue it, or to change it. And by that, we bring out the greatness of light over darkness in ourselves and in the world at large. And that completes the 15th chapter of Tanya, and it completes the Chitas for today. Today is the second day of the month. So it's chapter of Psalms. It's chapter 10 through chapter 17. If you do those 7 chapters, you do the Chitas of the day. Wish you all a good Shabbos, a wonderful Shabbos, happy Shabbos. And I invite you all to Mir Shem Sunday morning. Learn Chitas by yourself, but by Sunday morning, 8 o'clock, we'll come together again and we'll continue to learn together, and we'll learn the Chitas of the day. Shabbat Shalom, and I wish you all a wonderful and beautiful Shabbos.